Hey, I've got this question a lot. In fact, one of my team members just approached me with this one, which is how do you save a return? Like, how do you stop a patient from returning their hearing aids? Well, I think about one of the most important words that we use all the time in our practice, which is prevention, right? Think about preventing decline, preventing falls, right? Well, the way to save a patient from returning a hearing aid is to prevent it from ever happening in the first place. So here's what I mean, right? You've got to educate your patients before they come in, right? They've got to understand the true benefits of treatment. Otherwise, you're just crossing your fingers, right? Because if they don't buy into the value of everything you do, then they just still see it as a widget and they might still return it, right? So this is why we have built a consistent process that will produce a consistent outcome with very, very few, if any, returns. Here's a wild analogy, right? Think about a car accident, right? Should you put on the seatbelt before the accident or after, right? I hope you see the point. We have to prevent these things from ever happening in the first place. So here's the actual case from my clinic, okay? All seemed to be going well with the patient. They seemed happy. THI score went from 60 down to 30. Seems amazing, but the patient returned. Well, I've seen enough game film and I've trained enough people to know patient came in, talked about their tinnitus. That was all we really focused on in the appointment. And then we just banked on that being the saving grace, right? The patient was never educated on how that tinnitus is part of their overall chronic medical condition. And if this medical condition is left untreated, well, for starters, their THI score might go from 60 up to 90, right? Where it'll become much harder to treat when all the neural networks are reinforced and is really taken hold over the limbic system. And let's not forget the underlying auditory damage that caused the tinnitus is also increasing the patient's risk of losing their independence, their risk of cognitive decline, so on and so forth, right? So here are my two summary messages. Don't ever try to save a patient from returning. Your best bet, shake their hand or hug them, wish them the best, and let them know that you're always here for them when they are ready. Maybe even apologize for failing them, right? And number two, if you don't pre-educate your patient on all 5 medical benefits of treating their chronic medical condition, they'll continue to just see treatment as just a widget, and they will question the value, even when a THI score shows an improvement, right? And so this gets me to, we'll call this my third summary, right? Make sure every patient understands that what we do is provide transformative medical treatment of hearing loss and tinnitus, and that the outcomes we strive for are evidence-based, and that through treatment, not only will we help to reduce your tinnitus, but we're talking about increasing quality of life, improving cognitive function, increased independence by reducing the risk of falls, and ultimately potentially reducing their risk of cognitive decline and dementia. So best you treat your patients, educate them way up front so that you don't have to ever worry about saving a return, right? You've got to increase their health literacy so that ultimately very few will ever make the wrong decision and go against your strong recommendation and potentially return their device or reject the medical treatment of their hearing loss and tinnitus. So I hope this helps.